Evening, everyone. You are welcome to tonight's webinar for Analytics Africa, titled AI and Product Innovation. Today, we will be having one of our wonderful guests. Her name is Fade. Yeah, it looks like Fate, but it's Fade Adeniyi. And we are looking forward to such an exciting and wonderful time tonight with her. Analytics Africa is an association of tech professionals who are in the data analytics and AI space. And we work to have ourselves share ideas, share knowledge, and grow knowledge in the space of data and analytics. It's not a platform where we are looking to offer you courses for profit. No, even if we offer courses, it's going to be courses to just help you grow your knowledge base. And it's also not a platform where we are trying to showcase one person's individual skills or the other. Rather, we try to be a community for learning. So I'll be your host for tonight. Our regular host is not available, so I'll be the host. And I also have a member of my team here, Kazim. Thank you for joining. We don't have a large gathering tonight for many reasons, but we are recording this, and of course we will be uploading to our YouTube channel and then doing some additional content later on. So without further ado, I will welcome Fade. And Fade is a tenured product manager who has gone through many areas of technology. I know she started out with quality assurance and did it all the way to, and then now she's done product management and a lot of stuff around software. Today, she runs a similar organization where she will be expounding on later on. And today, her organization is like Analytics Africa, but they are into women in tech. And then she also is the CEO of Techlerator, a UK-based company that helps people grow their skills in tech via means of cybersecurity and other areas, cybersecurity, product management, business analysis, data and AI, and a host of other things. And they also offer internships for you. So she's a young CEO and she's a very good colleague. We worked together for many years, and it's good to have you on board, Fade. So you can share your screen and yes, introduce yourself in detail, and you can shoot. Welcome, Kazim. Welcome, Moses. Welcome, Toby. Happy to have you here.
Thank you, Tosin. I'm going to start off by saying, let's imagine a world where products evolve at the pace that keeps, at a pace that keeps up with human imagination, where ideas are transformed into tangible realities almost instantaneously, and companies can predict customers' needs even before the customers even realize that they have a need. That's the power of artificial intelligence in product innovation. According to McKinsey, companies that leverage on artificial intelligence in their product development process would reduce time to the market by 50%. Furthermore, PwC found out that 59% of companies using AI they've found a significant improvements in their customer satisfaction, and 54% have also said they've reduced operational costs. Good evening, I'm Fade Adeniyi, and today I'm going to be taking us through artificial intelligence and product innovation. As Tosin mentioned, I've been doing this for quite a while. I'm an experienced technology leader. I've done this for about over 14 years now. I'm currently working in AI space, building digital products, as well as digital transformation products as well. My specialty at the moment is artificial intelligence, digital, and data solutions. I've worked in so many industries. I've worked in compliance, pharmaceutical, real estate, travel, fintech, insurance, as well as consulting. As Tosin mentioned, I started off as a keyword tester and became a business analyst. No, became a systems analyst, then a business analyst, then product manager. I've recently just started a company where we train people on, and then we also recruit as well. For tech companies, I also started a nonprofit organization to empower women like me to break into tech or entrepreneurship as well. So back to today's topic. What is AI? This is a very fascinating question, right? Artificial intelligence, in my own definition, is a simulation of human intelligence in machines where machines are programmed to think and learn like us human beings. AI also encompasses a range of technologies and methodologies aimed at enabling machines so that it can perform tasks that are typically performed by human beings like you and I. And this task includes learning. AI would learn from us using the data that we've provided to artificial intelligence models. They tend to learn from us and then use that for our own information and use that to give us information. Another task is reasoning. Using rules within artificial intelligence, we can allow artificial intelligence models build rules around it, and then they could use those rules to define or come to a conclusion, either an approximate conclusion or a definite conclusion rather. So they are helping us make decisions as well. Another task is self-correction. AI currently, it can self-correct itself and improve itself via feedback or users' experience. We'll dive down into more information in the further slides, as well as problem solving. AI models can help us identify problems and then also help us solve those problems that it has identified itself. Also, a perception, right? AI can use tools around it, information around its environment to make sensory decisions or to be able to sense things that are happening around us, which could potentially be around our vision, our sound, our touch as well. The last task would be language understanding. AI has helped, to process a lot of information today, and that's because we've built AI models to listen to us as human beings and respond to us as well, almost similar to the way that human being would respond to us. One last thing I have to mention is we have to continuously evolve around AI. AI is a very fast-paced industry where things are happening at a really fast pace. So we have to continuously evolve ourselves around artificial intelligence. So now let's talk about what is product innovation. Product innovation actually refers to the process of creating and introducing new, significantly improved products or services to the market. It involves the stages of development. You have to develop these ideas, develop these technologies, as well as methodologies that would result into products or enhanced services that would deliver value to customers, either in the open market or just any customer around. So that is that's my definition for product innovation. So this is a very fascinating question. How is AI transforming product development today? As I've mentioned, AI is a really fast-paced environment. It accelerates. We can use AI tools today to help us rapidly generate product ideas by speeding up our innovation process. I found myself a number of times, just going into ChatGPT and saying, I have this, I have that, I have this. What can you come up with ideas for me? That's AI actually helping me with my thinking process as well. Although you have to give it information for it to help you. You have to give it some level of data or information for it to be able to provide you with ideas or things like that, or anything you would potentially require. Another one is predictive modeling. AI algorithm can help, analyze market data today and help predict customer preferences and trends, which can then guide us towards creating solutions or creating new products for our customers. Another one is intelligent automation. AI can automate various tasks today, from product development to product inside the product life cycle, the prototyping, the testing. This can also help us increase efficiency and help us reducing costs as well. Say, for example, I've worked in an organization where majority of our tests was even run by the AI model that was built years and years ago. So not that we don't have QA engineers, we do have, well, we did, when I was in the company, they had QA engineers, but they didn't have as much QA engineers as you would have on a typical product size of. So imagine like you have like probably about 8 data scientists. Then you have additional team in the machine learning team, which are like 4. And then you have another team where they are actually application development core team themselves, about 8. And then you have only 3 QAs. And those QAs actually suffice on delivering value, on ensuring that they are properly tested. That's because we've built an AI solution in the past that would actually help test the way human beings would test. So in a way, the company has cut down some reduction costs. And that's part of the statistics I gave at the beginning as well, to say about 54% of these companies that use AI, they're currently experiencing reduction, about 50% reduction in their operational costs, on their day-to-day operational costs. So those are the kind of things that AI can help us do inside product development. Please, if you've got any questions, feel free to drop them in the box and Tosin will share them at the end of the class. So at the end of this session, the role of data in AI products, in AI-driven products innovation, data-driven insights. I already said this. AI relies on the data. It relies on the data we provide it to be able to give us information, to be able to give us patterns, trends, customer insights that can help us with decision making, whether we need to build a new product or whether we need to carve out some services. So the data insights is very important. You need data to run so that it can provide us with this information, as well as personalized experiences. We can also use AI to personalize experiences or personalize services that we're giving to our customers. Say, for example, now, almost majority of the stores that we buy things from today, they know that, okay, for example, I do a lot of fast fashion, right? So the shop that I buy from, because I bought a particular item, and then maybe I bought it twice, they're going to send me those items and say, oh, Fadi, we think you might be interested in this. That's actually AI models doing those in the background, telling them that a customer, Fadi, has bought probably this type of shoes before. So can we send this shoes? Can we, she might be interested in this. So let's send it to her so that she can buy some more. So that's personalized shopping experiences in my, that's the scenario that I'm very familiar with. Another one is continuous optimization. Because AI today, it's got, we can build a feedback mechanism inside our AI models to ensure that its performance, it checks out its performance and then refine itself as well as improve itself as well. So that can also be done using, we can build those mechanisms into the AI model. And the last one on this screen is competitive advantage. And I already said it before, leveraging AI and data can give companies significant edge over, over other companies who do not use AI today. Number one, you can reduce operational costs. Number two, you would be able to reach your customers more. Number three, you can give them personalized experience so that they actually, that this is you caring about them and showcasing the things that they would potentially need in front of them so that they can come and buy. Be it a service as well. You can also build customized services around your customer using the data from the customer as well. So what are the challenges and considerations we need to have when implementing AI? I put out these three major topics because this is the one that I've faced quite a lot in my career as a technical product manager who worked on AI products for about 4 years. Number one would be data availability. We need to ensure that the level of data required to build these models that we want to build is available. Number two, so imagine that you're trying to build some trends. Imagine you're trying to build a credit scoring model today and you don't have data. There's no pattern for the AI model to follow. It's not going to be successful. That's just it. So that's part of why we need to ensure that data is king when building AI models, because those data, that's what we're going to use to then build these models so that the models can be very, very effective and would be useful at the long run. Because most AI models, right? Another thing, most AI models could be biased if the data you've given it is not sufficient enough. So it might not necessarily make the right decisions if you've given it less data. So the more data, the better for it actually. Another one is ethical consideration. We need to worry about data privacy. You need to worry about GDPR. Am I doing the right thing? Did the customers consent to me using their data? I've been in situations where we used to crawl LinkedIn pages and looking for people's information. We nearly got into trouble for doing that. That's because it's not allowed. So if you want to take people's data, you're going to need their consent. That's just it, point blank. Without their consent, it would be somewhat illegal. You could get into issues with the law and things like that. That's why I said ethical consideration is very important. We cannot say because, imagine that my data got leaked out, for example, now, and this is a very important data. This could be my medical records, for example. And then I find out that another company who has no business with my data is using my data to build models. We could potentially sue them and make money off of that. So that's why ethical considerations is number 2 on this list. Is absolutely important to ensure that the data was got, you have the data from the right channels. The last one on the screen is very, very crucial. Talent and expertise. You have to ensure that you have the right talent to build the necessary technical expertise to leverage on the AI models that you're trying to build. So I've been in situations again where we just keep on doing trial and error, simply because the team that I had working with me then were not 100% certain of what methodologies to use, what technologies to use to build the risk score, the things that we were using at the time. So we then had to go ahead to now source for proper talents. And when I mean talent, I mean, ensuring that you have the data scientist coming onto the team has the expertise to build the solution you require. The machine learning team as well, ensuring that these people actually have the skills set required for your team. So this is very crucial because you're trying to build something, you're trying to go to the market, but if there's no if they don't have the level of skills they required, you're most likely going to have a failed product. So that's why this is very, very important. So I added the case study just to showcase successfully AI-powered products that we have on the day-to-day today. For example, number 1 is smart home automation. I know some people today, by the clap of their hands, the light turns on. By clapping twice, for example, the light shuts off. As well as some of us have got Ring in our house, like a doorbell that will tell us when motion is detected in a particular territory, or as well as just telling Alexa to turn off the lights, play me some music, and things like that. That is a very that's a very successful smart home automation that has been powered by AI products. Another one is personalized recommendations, where we have AI suggesting products and contents to us based on our usage, based on our experiences on the websites that we've been on. Say, for example, if you go on TikTok today, you watch one topic, you watch that same topic again. Throughout, you can be rest assured that for the next few hours while you're scrolling on TikTok, the main thing you're going to be seeing is gists about that same topic. So you can follow on the trend and keep on watching or keep on understanding that trend further. So that's another way you can personalize. AI can help, that we've seen working today. Another one is AI-assisted medical diagnosis. This is very important today because this can help us diagnose people that are not even aware that a particular sickness is coming, or a particular sickness has started to brew in their body. So AI systems can help analyze some data to be able to assist these medical professionals to come up with a diagnosis faster and can save people's lives, rather than having them just wait and let the illness take over and then they eventually die. I've seen that quite a number of times as well, and I'm sure you guys have heard of things like that too. So what is the future of AI in product innovation? I added this slide because I find it really important too, because we know that today we've talked about the benefits of having artificial intelligence in product innovation. We've also now talked about, what AI is currently doing. We also need to look into the future as well, so we know what's coming, right? Number one is autonomous product design. AI-driven systems can autonomously generate and iterate product designs based on user feedback. I see this coming in the next few years, actually, where we are able to just automatically tell AI that you can make some changes based on this user experience. If the users are complaining, say, for example, we have a button that's meant to be, imagine you have some things not correctly done on the screen, and then your customers are complaining about it. When it reaches a particular threshold, I see that coming in the next few years, that we can have AI build us solutions, as well as taking the feedback and modify itself, and make those changes on production where customers can quickly use the services as well. Another one is predictive maintenance. And this is quite important because we need to have, like I mentioned, we need to have data, right? The initial data that is required for us to be able to have these AI models, right? We then need to be proactive about maintaining that data to ensure that the data isn't breached, the data isn't, data is still relevant, is still reliable. So AI is actually doing it now for some companies, that they can actually find data drifts in their data, and AI model can actually rebuild data to fix the data drift within itself as well. So that's another element that I see potentials for in the future. Another one is adaptive user experiences. Like I mentioned just in the previous slides, we see that we have applications today, right, that they take on a lot of our data, they take all of our experiences, they take on how we use the application today, what user preferences we've made, everything we've made. AI can then build products and services around those things that we do today, around our experiences, and then so it creates like a continuous loop for us. It might not necessarily be building a new product, it could be enhancing the same product that we have today, not based on feedback this time, but based on the actual experiences that we've done within the application itself. Okay. And lastly, I'd like to conclude by saying integrating AI and product innovation is a transforming way that we can definitely improve product development. I see them going way further. I see most of the applications in the future using artificial intelligence. That's because we need to keep in the market. And how do we keep in the market? We have to stay ahead of trends. We have to stay ahead. We have to be aware of what's coming next. And I believe that we've powered some AI models enough to be able to tell us what products and services we're going to be needing in the future. So because AI uses data, right, the power of data, we have to leverage more on the data that we've given AI and the data that we are also using within the app as well, our experiences, our feedback. We can then use that to accelerate and innovate further within the market space and build more desirable products for our customers. And then that would give organizations a competitive edge in the market against companies who are not using AI today. And that concludes my presentation. Do we have any questions?
Thank you very much, Fadi. Yes, we have a question we have Kazim raising up his hand. Kazim, yes, please go ahead and ask your question. Unmute yourself and ask your question.
Good evening. Thank you for the insightful session. My question is that maybe I should start with this. I work in tech too, and I work in the fintech space where our clients are the B2B. So they are the big companies where they use our solutions, which is an investment solutions. So I would like to know, because sometimes they do ask us recently that how can we automate some of these things? How can we do this and do that? And we don't have those data. I want to ask, how can we, the small companies, because if you are looking at the big companies who are big in the AI, you can see the ChatGPT, Gemini, Sega, among others, Samsungs, among others that are big in that space and have data to drive these things. What are we that are small and we have little users? How can we take advantage of this AI to automate some of our stuff in product design management? Thank you.
I would say the best way for you to go ahead is to ask them for that data. You have to showcase it to them. It's a win-win situation, right? And this is what I've done over the past. So it's either you're buying the data legitimately from organizations who sell this data, or you are tabling it is to the front of these companies who has this data, telling them the benefits. So you start off with the benefits, right? You don't tell them, oh, I need your data to build XYZ. No, you found a problem. You tell them, this is the problem that we have. We need to enhance we need to build XYZ for you guys. This would be the benefits of building all of this. But to be able to build all of this, we need your data to build it. And hopefully they would give you this data. That's the way I have worked over the last few years. So my organization that I worked in just before I started off mine, we would ideally buy data. But I understand from the other companies that they are buying this data from as well. They are showcasing what people can do with that data and then telling them that this is what you can achieve, or this is what can be achieved with this amount of data that you have with you. So in essence, all I'm trying to say is that they need to see the benefits as well. When they see the benefits of what you could potentially build with that data, they should give you access to the data. I hope I'm being able to answer your question.
Kazim, did you get a response to your question?
Yes, thank you very much.
Are you sure? Yeah, see, it's a good response, or you still need more information?
Yes, our response is clear since we understand that AI is driven by data, and once I can get data, we'll be able to build a model with it. I think that answers my questions. Thank you.
Yeah, so like I always say, whatever AI is doing, AI does not exist in isolation. AI sits squarely on data. So your AI model or whatever AI you're doing is very, very, very dependent on the quality of your data. So this is a very, very classic example of garbage in, garbage out. So if you don't have good data, then you don't have good AI stuff to do. Okay, thanks for that. Any other questions? Any other questions from anybody? So I would ask a question. And yes, so I would ask a question, and that question would be to say, how does AI help with innovation in terms of the fact that if I have AI tools, if I have AI devices or AI, whatever algorithms or AI models, how does it help me generate new ideas, or how does it help me refine the ideas that I may have, or how does it help me to be able to go to market faster or research better than the other guy in the next office or my competition in period?
So I think you've said it all actually. Garbage in, garbage out. I'm going to go and use that your example because I believe that. So you can definitely, AI doesn't work in isolation, just as you mentioned, right? You have to give it some level of data. And I referred to the example of using ChatGPT. I remember that when I was working in Pro, we had, so we get data from people, for example, they're called PIPL. And this is data about you, Tosin, for example, me, Fade, about, all the data on my LinkedIn, the people who has it. And with that, what that means is that they're constantly crawling and taking data. And then all of a sudden, one day, this is me just thinking of one idea. And I was like, oh, what can I do with people's data? And guess what? Number one, so you can ask ChatGPT anything, but you have to have the correct prompts so that it will give you fascinating or interesting answers that would even question your own level of reasoning and thinking as well. So I can imagine me just asking ChatGPT, what products can I build with people's professional office data? And I bet you number one response would be, or you could potentially build a verification process where they can verify their, where people can come in and verify their work experience today. So that's me asking AI. So that's how I believe AI could potentially help. And that's how I've seen it work in a number of places where, you have to give it some level of information for it to be able to respond back to you with ideas and of products and innovation and services. It doesn't know everything. It doesn't know everything all, but at least it can help you trigger some level of reasoning that could potentially then say, oh, what if I then ask it? So you've told me now that I could build services. I could build a what's that? A verification service around employee data, which is fine. So what else can I build? Or how else do you think I should build this? It would then generate another answer to you. But like you mentioned, I just feel using some AI tools can definitely help. There's also a lot of AI tools these days, right? There's one now that can actually generate a website for you and then can even upload the website straight away into, so you're not starting up from scratch. They are building it in a way that you don't necessarily even need a website developer anymore. So people in that field need to start thinking of better things or something else to do to enhance their skills so that they will still be relevant in the next few years. This AI tool is called Gamma.app, I believe. It's so fantastic. And it will generate, I got to find out from it when I went on a work trip, and a friend of mine, I met this lady and she was like, oh, there's this tool. I was like, what's the name? Like she was using the tool. And I was like, what's this? What are you trying to do? She's like, this thing is helping me build my business. I'm building a website for a client off of this. And I was like, this is incredible. I cannot believe this. Are you a website designer? She said, no. And this thing built, website from scratch for her. And right there and there, the only thing she needed to do was provide the login details and everything. And this thing deployed into production. Within 10 minutes, the website is live. So that's how AI can also help us to quickly innovate quickly, so that we're not. So imagine if they had a competitor who was still, looking for a website designer to come in, they take their time, they develop, they do this, but they are already live within 10 minutes. The website wasn't 100% fantastic, but at least it can still get them customers at that time while they work on the other robust website. So that's a competitive advantage, in my own opinion. It will help customers, it will help businesses reach customers faster.
Got you. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's a beautiful response. So it helps with innovation, and it also helps you go live quickly, at least with your MVP, and
Absolutely.
you already know if what you are doing is right or if it's not right, and you already
Exactly.
have perspective. So instead of still pushing Figma or wireframes up and down, you immediately push something live. Yeah, very.
Absolutely.
I remember I'm working with somebody on a similar project. We are still discussing the website project, but I've set up not so, at least it's WordPress, but at least she's already collecting payments.
Exactly.
Every other thing. So the website is not functional yet, but at least people are, instead of Google Forms, we are taking the data on her website. We are taking payments on her website. And she's even telling me she doesn't need a website, that she just needs a landing page for her marketing.
Wow, interesting.
And she's very correct. I mean, but again, yeah, correct. Beautiful, beautiful. So any other questions? Esther, Moses, Toby, Taiwo, any other questions? Kazim, again, if you have another question. Okay, no other question. I will still ask another question. So they tell us that AI is not going to take our jobs, but people using AI will take our jobs. So how does this relate to product innovation and product management? And some maybe QA also, which your former life. How does this relate?
So, as you've mentioned, AI isn't coming to take our jobs, but the people using AI are the ones that will try to work faster, be able to think, be able to use their brain cells for other things like other innovation, rather than just continually doing the same thing over and over again. Like you mentioned, in my former life, I used to do a lot of regression testing. And at a point, and that used to be a manual kind of regression testing. And you can imagine repeating the same process almost every cycle, every 2 weeks then. So that was
every 2 weeks.
Or every week, Tosin. Or every week. So because of that, you see, I literally got bored because we kept on doing the same thing over and over again. So automation testing came and that took over for a bit. But right now we can build products and services that we can build models that can help us with this, so that we can free ourselves and start to think of other ways to test and innovate better. In the PM side, in the product management space, I would say it's fantastic because it helps create a lot of ideas. I've worked in places where I'm constantly churning out work, and number one is that just imagine that you're constantly taking manual feedback, and you have to sit in meetings taking feedback from your users, because you at a point, I think I only had about 10 users of this particular application. And because there were not a lot, I had to sit in those meetings. They will explain all the feedback to me. I will manually write that and take that to the development team. Later on, it became so chaotic because then I started to add. So that was the phase one. By the time I left, I think they were on phase 3. So we added about maybe 20 more. So it became like 30. So we had to stop those calls and started to then take in feedback using an online tool, and that would then collate all. So if, for example, I'm speaking about, oh, I want this particular button shifted, or I have this problem, that tool will then, would then collate all the results for me and tell us that, oh, Fade, for this particular issue, 10 people have complained about it. So I quickly know that this is what I need to work on, rather than me manually collating all of that and then spending a lot of time trying to understand what the problem is. The AI tool would have automatically understood what the problem was, because we've already given it all the information around the data of the application. So it understands what the product is. It definitely understands what the problem is as well. And is also churning out answers for us, as well as also summarizing the issue that, 10 people, for example, have complained about. With that way, anybody within the team can easily pick that up and ensure that it's delivered, if it's the problem or if it's a new feature that needs to be built quickly as well. So now let's imagine that we are in a world where AI can actually make corrections in itself and then deploy those changes and then have one or two people just test it. So I'm not saying the dev or the AI or the application development team are going to go and just, they're not going extinct. But I see that's why a lot of us are moving into new technologies as well. The only constant thing in life is change, and that's because we need to constantly innovate and we need to keep on evolving constantly. So yeah, I would say those are the kind of experiences of the places the roles that I've worked in, that I've used AI, that AI has helped with the product development process.
Beautiful. I love the sound of that. Kazim, you have a question. And Esther is saying something like,
yes.
Hold on, Kazim. Esther says, I love this, but it's becoming
Okay.
scary, sincerely. AI and tech in its entirety, and we must keep evolving and learning to keep being relevant. Yes, Esther, you're very correct. And what I always tell people is, a lot of people come with two perspectives. Some people say, okay, so it's the tool of the Antichrist and it means the end of the world is here. So maybe we shouldn't touch it, or maybe we shouldn't use it. Then I asked the question, so where do you plan to be when the end of the world is here, really? So decide where you want to be. Do you want to be on the bad side or you want to be on the good side? So the other perspective also is the fact that if we don't use these tools, the bad guys are going to use the tools.
Absolutely.
And when the bad guys use the tools, the implication is that they are going to get very, very good with these smart tools, and they are going to overwhelm us, and they are going to get really, really smarter than we are, and they are going to get better than we are, and then we will be caught napping. We will not be able to do things smartly. So in order to make sure that we can rank and we can deliver smartly and we can innovate, I think it's a relevant thing for us to pursue. Okay, over to you, Mr. Kazim.
Okay. This is a follow-up question on my earlier question about integrating AI for a small business or with small users. So I want to ask, what are the implications? Because actually I intend to suggest to my team as well on how to work with data so that we can put those things in place. But what are the challenges to look out for when we are implementing these AI tools to our products? Our product has been existing for a while, but we want to now input a new thing to it that is not there before. So what are the things we should look out for to avoid, so that we won't go and fall into the loophole? We mentioned the data part. We mentioned the part that there will be job changes as well. So you've also mentioned the part that AI might be biased. So what are the things we should look for to minimize those things from happening, or to do so that it won't just cut us unaware? Thank you.
Thank you, Kazim. So I would say it depends. Otos, do you want to take it?
No, I said I wanted to tell you to go ahead.
Okay. So it depends on the solution you're trying to build, right? You work in fintech today, and I use the example of a credit scoring system. Imagine you're trying to build a credit scoring system and you're granting people loans, people that cannot even pay the loans, but because your AI model is saying, oh, Fadi earns 60K, but Fadi earns 600K, for example, and then I'm requesting for a loan of 10 million naira, or I'm requesting for a loan of 20 million naira, and I'm supposed to pay that within 2 years, for example, and then your AI model is telling you that Fadi can afford that loan. So, number one that I mentioned is to ensure that you have correct data. That data is what will help you make those valid decisions. The AI system or the AI model would not be biased. It will still be biased, but it will be some level of biasness, not a large chunk. So it would be probably, I don't know, probably less than 10%. With that, that's still a fair pass mark, right? Because you're still going to allow some. That's why you're going to have to bring in another way to ensure that your AI model works the way it needs to work, is that you're going to have to bring in actual users who are coming in to use this particular solution. So what I did, my first ever AI product, was to bring in the actual users. So I piloted with 10 users, for example, got their feedback. Some of them will tell me, if this is a false positive, it shouldn't work this way. I go back to my team and I say, oh, I've collected a couple of false positive. I need us to retrace our steps. So I need us to test this in-house and see what comes out of it. And then I need us to, when they've tested, then I need us to reevaluate what has been done initially. And then we need to find solutions to those false positives that was given to us. So in your own case, and I'm going to go back to use the credit scoring system, imagine that I earned 600,000 naira, but I want a 20 million naira loan and I want to pay back within 2 years. Obviously, we know that's not possible. That's why it will be good in your own case to test thoroughly with actual users, not and then don't allow a significant, probably don't allow significant amounts to be stretched. So you have to gauge your system. You have to, and I think this also comes with experience. This cannot necessarily be taught. You have to, as a product manager, I used to work as a product manager, right? So I understand that if somebody comes to me with some false positives, first of all, I need to analyze why it's a false positive. I then need to go back to my dev team, my AI team, or my data scientist team, and tell them that, oh, this is a false positive. We need to understand how this is, why this came out as a false positive. They need to give you a reason. Another thing is, do not just shove things under the bench and say, oh, it's working for some, it's not working for some. It entirely has to work for at least about 90% of the entire product line. So if, for example, maybe it's everybody else keeps on passing and it's fine, but only one person, you found the system failure in one, you have to take that particular one and understand why the algorithm gave it that result as well. So you, as a PM in an AI product, or as a BA in an AI product, you need to fully understand where it's coming from, why it happened, and then get the team to fix it. The fix as well might also go and scatter a few things as well. So you just have to be, you have to have that in mind, that that's also possible, that by fixing just one entry, by just fixing one particular problem, it can scatter a lot more things. But it's going to be a learning curve. It's going to be a learning process for you as well as the person in charge of building these products. But all I'm saying is that you need to cover every single track, so that by the time you have additional users within your system, because now it could be just that when he found out that I had that issue, for example, it could just be that, oh, we had only 50 users, and out of the 50 users, one user had a problem. But if you had 2 million users, that means that the proportion that you would have the issue would be 20 divided by I don't know, I don't understand that math, but I feel like it would be a lot more than, so you have to be able to discern and use the number of users solving the problem, and then it equates that to the future users as well. So that with that, you're then able to fully come up with a plan to ensure that you mitigate against those risks that I've identified just now. I hope that helps.
Yeah, and then in addition to that, I've actually worked on this. So Kazim, you can pause me later on. I can share some stuff with you. Because you're a startup, you may not have the clout of a company like Oracle, Microsoft, or even a bank in Nigeria. So one of the things that you could leverage upon is that you can take the first thing you need to leverage upon is to have the data in whatever form. And then once you have the data, the next thing you can consider is to look for some solutions that are probably pre-built. So how do I mean? How do I mean? When OpenAI came out and started doing all this great stuff, Google said, okay, we are building our own. So they built Bard, and then they built Gemini, and Bard became Gemini. Then Elon Musk said, I used to be part of OpenAI before in the past. Then he too went to put money and invest money in another company called XAI. Those are big, big guys. Facebook too said, we can do it now. How much is it? Put their own $1 billion. As a startup, you won't be able to afford that. Right. So what can you do? You could easily take OpenAI. OpenAI has APIs, for example. You could easily build your platform leveraging the data or the features of OpenAI. Or if you don't like OpenAI, you like Gemini, or you like Llama, which Facebook is using, you could easily build your solution against any of those things. So let me give an example. I have a tool that I use that has PDFs, and that allows you to read PDFs. So today, OpenAI, before 2 weeks ago, before their latest launch, before 2 weeks ago, they would just allow you to read one PDF and ask it questions. Now, what these guys have done, and all they're charging is just $8 or $10 a month. They've built against the OpenAPI platform, and they allow you to upload PDFs, up to 100 PDFs, and you can put those PDFs in folders. And then you can now query those PDFs. So what have they done? They haven't invested $1 billion like Elon Musk or like Facebook. They have just paid maybe $20 or $50 a month, which is like 50,000 naira to $100,000 a month. And they've subscribed to OpenAI, whatever, or Gemini Plus, the premium version. And they've built a software. And now, based on that software, they are able to charge people $10 a month. So all they need is 10 users. And with those 10 users, 10, 20 users, they've started earning profit from that software. Why? So they've enhanced the products. They are able to now so Tosin now can go and put 20 documents in a folder and query 20 documents as opposed to one document in ChatGPT. Or even if I had ChatGPT Premium that I'll be paying $20 for, I will still just be able to query one document. But now I can say, what is product innovation and AI? I can go and look for 5 books on that, put it into a folder, and query that folder. And that folder is going to give me all the necessary information. I can also write my own book. Another thing you need to do is you need to learn how to address the data. Like we've said, where are you going to get the data from? If you already have the data, how can you now play around the data? Remember that AI is the end result, or generative AI is the end result. What models are you going to use? Are you going to have to hire a data scientist? Are you going to have to call someone like Esther to come and work in your company? Or are you going to go to the OpenAI, to the Azure model marketplace or Azure marketplace, where you are going to get pre-built classification and regression models that you can run against your data, which means you don't need to have 75% data science or machine learning knowledge. Probably we just need to have 20%. You buy a pre-built model and you run it against your data, and you begin to see the kind of results you want to see. So what am I saying in essence? There are things that you need to be able to afford. There are things that you need to be able to leverage upon. And then, of course, you can look for, you now begin to think about providers who already have those solutions and libraries that you can use. Maybe Kaggle has the data, maybe some US government something or Nigerian government something has that data. You need to look for those people you can partner with. And alternatively, it could even be the data that you are running for your customers or for your business. So if you want to do the classification or regression or whatever, you can easily go and pick a model that exists or an algorithm that exists and then add it to your whatever. So it saves you the stress of having to learn to become a data scientist for the first 3 months and then building $1 billion of your own large language model. But by leveraging things that some people have already done, then you can do that. The next thing is the use cases of your customer. What use cases do your customers have and what use cases are realistic? Your customer may not need generative AI, they may need a bot. So what are you doing? So you need to do like a solution or a case study finder or use case finder assessment that allows you to analyze what your customer needs. So I can go on and on and on and on, but it's not my days for this day. So you can buzz me and see me after the service. Okay. Any other questions? Moses, Taiwo, Esther? Okay, I think this is time well spent. Fade, do you have any final words for us before we call it an evening?
I just want to thank everyone for coming. I really appreciate that you guys spent an hour listening to me and Tosin. Thank you so much. And hopefully we'll be back, or I will be back here soon enough.
Yeah, looking forward to having you very soon. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you for the beautiful questions. Esther, you're trying to say something.
No, it was a mistake.
Okay. Thanks everyone, and have a wonderful evening. And we will share the replay, and we will keep in touch. Thanks. Have a wonderful evening. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.